Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second link to the second stream. Slightly chaotic, slightly hectic, so apologies. So we will start a little bit later than we normally do. Not that we are normally the most swift and prompt people here ever, but yeah, slight mess up on my part. I instead of clicking share the link, I did click go live, as you might have seen by accident. So sorry about that. I'll just, as I say, make sure we just start a little bit later. If there's anybody, I know most people who join this chat are kind of friends with other people involved in syndicates. So if you want to send that to them, just to try and put their mind at ease. I've already had a couple of emails saying where's a link on. So we're trying to get through them as swiftly as possible. You should all have a new link. Obviously, if you're watching this, you've seen it. So I'm kind of preaching to the choir here a little bit, aren't I? But we have shared it on Twitter's, Facebook's, everything we can possibly do in as quick time as possible. But we'll still be probably waiting for a few more just to check their emails before going live again. So I've probably done ourselves a little bit of a disservice. Numbers will probably be down a little bit this week. In the slight hubbub and slight confusion that I caused, I have not had a chance to get myself a drink. And we're going for a Thatcher's this week, cider. Normally I've got these prepared prior to coming on, but as I say, it's been a little bit manic here leading up to it. For the observant ones of you, you'll have noticed that I've had another lockdown haircut, another COVID cut. Decided to brave the shave once again, and just kind of, it was all getting a bit out of hand, and kind of sort it a little bit. I'm sure many people are kind of doing the similar sort of thing. Numbers are picking back up now. I think 90. So we're up to 90 now, so I'll just wait for a few more people to access the new link in the inbox, and hopefully we should be ready to get rocking and rolling once again. Yeah, we're about to turn up already, which is good. Hopefully people are coming across from the previous link. So cheers, everybody. I've not stolen this from a cricket ground, by the way. If you've been to cricket lately, you pay £1 for your first pint. You get a plastic glass. All about recycling nowadays, isn't it? And looking after the environment. So I decided to liberate it. Don't give me £1 back, but hey, you get a nice glass. Oh, plastic cup. For those who weren't here earlier, thank you for joining us all once again. It's great to see so many familiar names in the chat. Lots of people, obviously Jamie, Brian. I've seen Ian's there, Graham Layfield's in, Nate Jones, Thomas Milner, Trevor Edwards, welcome back, Mark Boker, Johnny Fox, Kevin Hughes, James and Richard Austin, Russell Dix, hello again, Ben Alden, welcome back again. Who else have we got? Chris Liddell, plenty of regular people, plenty of regular faces, and for those, Judy Britton, Joe Exotic, lots of people back. So welcome all, and the Smith clan, Mark, Linda's, the Andrew clan, the Andrew family. Yeah, welcome all once again. Seems to be getting quite popular. We're kind of up to about 115. So I did say we'd get started a little bit later. So those who weren't there at the start, apologies, hold my hands up in the hubbub and the confusion. I clicked go live instead of sharing the link. So that one's on me. That's a point deducted from myself before we've even started the quiz. And I'm not even had a drink today. It's been manic. That's my first that's the first beverage of the day. So apologies for that. Headingley Test Day 1. That's absolutely right, Stephen. Welcome again. Yeah, I caught up with you there, didn't I? We were just walking around, me and Lewis Barnes. We were just walking around behind the Western Stand, Western Terrace, and I bumped into Stephen Dean, no less. And we had a good chat, all things Captain Woody, and put the world to rights before, I think that was at lunch, wasn't it? And that's just before the second session at Headingley Day 1. Anyway, so as I say, apologies, it was me. I'll just get on with a bit of the housekeeping now, seeing as I think most people have kind of come across. For many of the racing Middleham Park clan who are here, you'll have seen that we had the offer that went out yesterday for the last 25 hours, 26 hours. So that's been a huge success, a great success. And thank you to each and everyone who took part. I think we did, we managed to do 156 at the last count. My mum's still tallying it all up, so the actual financial pounds, shillings and pence that's still to be all totted up, but it was 156 at the last count deals that we did, individual deals that we did. So thank you again to everybody who had a deal accepted. If you didn't, must try harder. We'll try again. I'm sure we'll do it again at some point. Must try harder next time. But again, thank you very much for those who did that. Now, there is a little bit of racing this week. For those who've missed it, obviously we are missing racing, but it does seem good news this week, really, doesn't it? It looks like we're going to be probably getting going in the month of May. I think M's a word, really. It looks like we're going to be getting going. They've the BHA have announced a pattern. Some of the races which have obviously been missed, so your Greenhams, your Fred Darlings, your Nell Gwynns, etc. These have all been kind of compressed into what looks a very tantalising and mouth-watering weekend. As soon as we get racing going again, it looks like they're all going to be kind of crammed in with the Guineas a couple of weeks later. But it does look very, very strong indeed that we're going to be getting underway and getting some racing again in the month of May. So that's great news on that front, and obviously we'll keep you posted as time goes on. Here, any latest developments we hear from the National Trainers Federation, the ROA or the BHA, will pass it on to our owners. Right, on to things a little bit more pressing. Obviously, the quiz, which why we're all here, hopefully on this link rather than the previous one. I think we're probably kind of getting towards the point where we should be getting underway. So I'm afraid to say there's going to be I might be singing, but no more singing necessarily this week. We've done away with a music round. It had a good couple of weeks there, didn't it? But I think time has changed. People should embrace change. It shouldn't be there it shouldn't be there to be scared of, hence the haircut again. We've changed that for the film and television round. I'm not sure there's too much television in there. I think it's mainly film orientated, but one or two in there. I think that'll probably stick around for a couple of weeks, and then we might look at mixing that up once again. So the rounds are general knowledge as ever. Then it's I think it's a film and TV round. Then it's the Blockbuster. That's back once again. You can't seem to get rid of Blockbuster. Everybody likes a bit of Blockbuster. And finally, we've got a sport round and a picture round, which you should have all had. If not, we will either post a link to the sports to the pictures, or we'll put them on the Facebook. Now, a little bit of other housekeeping, as I've kind of been speaking about there, about the deals that we've been doing and the FOMO offer that we've done. Many of the team, well, all of the team, pretty much barring me, really, have been flat to the boards, working jolly hard on that. So a big thank you to them. Charlotte, although I think most of her job is still to come, she's got to send out 156 contracts in the next couple of days. So if you have been successful, well done. But your contract might just take a few more days. We've got 150 odd to get out, as well as a few other shares. So they will be with you, but it might just take a little bit longer than normal. So Charlotte, thank you. Sarah, who's done lots of the bios and plenty of the housekeeping today. Thank you very much. Tom Denham, who's been fielding all of your emails. Thank you. Well done to Tim. It is actually his birthday in a couple of days as well. I won't tell you how old he is because I haven't actually got a Scooby. But it is his birthday in 2 days' time. So thank you to him and Mike as well for keeping the show on the road there. Right, I think my point there anyway was that I'm going to have to be popping the questions in the chat, so it might be a little bit nonsensical, or more nonsensical than it normally is, but anyway, look, we'll get our way through it. As I say, I normally ramble at the start for 5 minutes, and we're just getting to a point now where we might as well kick on. So let me. Great start. I need to find that. I lose the first round. Okay, right. So eyes down, general knowledge. Eyes down for a full house for your quiz for the 3rd of May. It's out of 60 today. 60. There's a bonus point that I'll award at the end of this round as well. Question number 1. How many furlongs are in a mile? How many furlongs are in a mile? I think it's somebody's birthday tomorrow. Peter Allison, many happy returns for tomorrow. Oh, and Trev Edwards, 65 tomorrow. How many furlongs in a mile? Question 1. Question number 2. There's a rattling in the background. It's bin day tomorrow. I brought it forward, so I need to put the bins out. Please do remind me in the chat at the end of a quiz to go put my bin out. What technique did Charles Ingram and co. use to cheat to £1 million on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Question 2, general knowledge. What technique did Charles Ingram and co. use to cheat to £1 million on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Just pop your answers on a piece of paper and we'll score them at the end of each round. Welcome on board, Mr. Fahy. Good evening. Glad you got the link. Already well up at 127. It's already a record-breaking week. Okay, question number 3. It's a multiple choice question. What percentage of the Earth is covered in water? Is it A, 68%, B, 71%, or C, 74%? What percentage of the Earth is covered in water? A, 68, B, 71, or C, 74? Sorry, I'm not very brilliant at multitasking, but hopefully all the questions should be in the chat as time goes on. 131. We're absolutely smashing this. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Now, I do appreciate. I'm probably going to be sneaking into your Killing Eve time at the back end of a quiz, but I'll try and kick on. Question number 4. What is Western Europe's tallest mountain? What is Western Europe's tallest mountain? Yes, I know there's plenty of race courses that are normally 100% underwater. It's kind of all it seems to be at the moment, doesn't it? The winter National Hunt Games seems to be heavy growing everywhere or abandoned to growing descriptions, and then the summer seems to be pretty firm. There's got to kind of be a way where we can start harnessing this water that we get in the winter, reservoirs, etc. What is Western Europe's tallest mountain? Question number 5. What is BBC Radio 4's longest running show? What is BBC Radio 4's longest running show? Hi, Louise. Welcome along to your first one. Welcome. Hopefully it's your first of many. What is BBC Four's longest running show? A little bit of Chepstow controversy in the chat there. Now, I did take it on board from last week. Felt maybe it was a little bit tough, so I hope I've made it a little bit easier. But as ever, they're only easy if you know the answers, aren't they? What was BBC Radio 4's longest running show, or what is currently still going on, isn't it? Question number 6. The first satellite to launch into space was in 1957. What was its name? The first satellite to launch into space was in 1957. What was its name? And that's not the only factoid about the Welsh national, but we won't go into that. Yeah, lots of new faces again. Welcome all aboard. But where have you been? Where have you been? 5 weeks pure banter and fun. Probably at my expense, but we're great to have you on board. Glad that you've came and joined us. First satellite to launch into space in 1957, but what was its name? Question number 7 of your general knowledge. Boris Johnson has just had another son, but what is Boris's real first name? Boris Johnson has just had another son, but what is Boris's real first name? Probably not the way you thought that question was going to go. Mainly because, wow, okay. Thanks, Timmy. That's really put me off my train of thought. Yeah, I wrote the question before he actually announced the name of his son. Boris Johnson's just had another son, but what is Boris's real first name? Now, when I put that question to Emily, she didn't realise another name. We'll move swiftly on. Question number 8, another brand question. Have it your way is the slogan for which brand? Have it your way is the slogan for which brand? I'm trying to do one of these brand questions each week. I don't know if they're going down well. Obviously, seem to be. But if you've got any feedback, as I say, at any point on the quiz, any way of improving it, just let me know. Do send us an email, and I'll try and improve it week on week. Question number 9. Name a painting whose eyes are said to follow you around the room. Name the painting whose eyes are said to follow you around the room. Name the painting whose eyes are said to follow you around the room. Now, there's quite a lot of Middleham Park owners who've had the opportunity to go and see this picture or this particular painting when we take our horses abroad. I'm trying to give a couple of hints without giving too much away. And finally, in your general knowledge round, it wouldn't be a pub quiz without a alcohol-based question. The cocktail of vodka, spicy ginger beer, and lime juice is known as a Moscow what? The cocktail of vodka, spicy ginger beer, and lime juice is known as a Moscow what? Just notice a quick spelling mistake before I post it in the chat. There'll be loads of spelling mistakes. I'm actually not the best speller in the world. The cocktail of vodka, spicy ginger beer, and lime juice is known as a Moscow hot. Now, that completes your general knowledge round. I'll just give you a brief moment there to finish your answers. And then what we'll do is we'll go through all of them again. We'll go through the answers rather than going through the questions. Or if you've missed a question, scroll up in the chat. They should all be in there. And yeah, look, we'll kick on and we'll get through with your answers. I make this round out of 10. Out of 10. At the end of this round, do post in the chat what score you've got. We'll read out a few of the good ones. Yeah, okay. Right, the answers. Question 1. How many furlongs are there in a mile? That's 8 furlongs. 8 furlongs are in a mile. 200 meters per furlong. Let's see, 1,600 meters in a mile. We're not marked them yet, but that's optimistic thinking. I'm delighted you think you've got all 10 there. We'll see if that's all right in a minute. Question number 2. What technique did Charles Ingram and co use to cheat on £1 million on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? They coughed. Didn't they? Tequan Whittock and Charles Ingram and his partner. I can't remember her name now. I know it was on ITV, wasn't it? Her name escapes me. I'm sure the chat will let me know her name. But they used a clever tactic of cheating or coughing. Now it is and it isn't. It's a tricky one for me, that really. They still had to know the answers, didn't they? I know the coughing, it's not just it's supposed to be one person, but they still knew the answers between them. It's Diana. Thanks, Stephen. It was still somebody had to know the answer, so fair play. It's not like they guessed that Google question. Somebody knew it. Anyway, go off on a tangent. Question 3. What percentage of the Earth is covered in water? Was it A, 68, B, 71, or C, 74? It was B, 71%. 71% of the Earth is water. Or a little bit more if you've set a horse up for a race in the middle of December. That's where normally all the rain arrives. Question 4. What is Western Europe's tallest mountain? Mont Blanc. At 4,808 meters, 4,808 meters, Mont Blanc. That's above sea level. Question 5. What is BBC Radio 4's longest running show? I can't say I've ever listened to it, but it's The Archers. It started in 1951. What is BBC Radio 4's longest running show? The Archers. 1951 it began. It might be the only soap left going if we're keeping this for much longer. I know Coronation Street's kind of downed their number of episodes they're showing per week, aren't they? And that should run out in June time. So we'll be fine. We'll be fine, won't we? But they're recording from home studios, aren't they? Anyway, question number 6. The first satellite to launch into space in 1957. What was its name? Sputnik or Sputnik 1? I'll accept either, obviously. Sputnik or Sputnik 1 was the first satellite launched into space in 1957. Question number 7. Boris Johnson has just had another son, but what is Boris's real first name? Alexander. He's Alexander Boris de Penfold Johnson. Alexander Boris Johnson. Obviously, it's much more easily identifiable, Boris, than Alexander, really, isn't it? It's probably a little bit more accessible, maybe. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Question number 8. Have it your way. It's a slogan for which brand? Burger King. Have it your way is Burger King's slogan. Number 9. Name a painting whose eyes are said to follow you around the room. That's associated with a Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa was the answer we were looking for. Now, it is actually there is a technical term for it, where it's said to follow you around. It's more commonly known as a Mona Lisa effect. So that's kind of what we were going with, the Mona Lisa painting in the Louvre. What I was getting at when I said owners have a chance to. We've had lots of runners over in France, and it seems that French racing is getting to going quite soon. And obviously, our horse with Jean-Claude Rouget, Menton Ernst, he's had a great time since going over there. And hopefully he can get out on a race course soon and continue that upward because he's on. And finally, your last question in the general knowledge round, given it's a pub quiz, we need a drinks question. The cocktail of vodka, spicy ginger beer, and lime juice is often known as a Moscow what? That's a Moscow Mule. Moscow Mule. I can't say I've actually ever had one. I'm sure many of you more well educated and refined is the word I was looking for. Folk out there have had one. So how do you all get on in that round? I think probably 7 is a good score. If you get north of 7, that's a decent effort. Dilif 8, Ben 8, Rachel Watson 7s, Russell Dix 9s, Phil Little 8, Chris Little 9. He letting the side down there with a 5. Moscow Mules are superb. There's your recommendation. That's probably going to have to be a drink for next week. Ben Kirkby, that's not a number, that's just a word. No wonder my mum took so much golden time off you at school. Dave Borton, welcome aboard. Thank you. 8. Lots of good scores. Lots and lots of good scores. But the Austin's only an 8. Jesus, maybe it wasn't as easy as I thought. Kevin Horsley, 9s. Very good every week. 5 is that's still above average, I would say, score. Anyway, right. I did say there'd be a bonus point. Now, award yourself a bonus point if you had an offer accepted in the last 24 hours. If you had a FOMO offer accepted in the last 24 hours, i.e. you've just bought a new share with us, get a bonus point. Right, we are moving on to round number 2, which is your film and TV round. I'm just going to shut the window. It's getting very cold. Sorry about that. Film and TV. All right, I remember I've been told to give you a little bit longer on these multiple answer questions. And the first one is just that. The whole round is out of 17. Now, I think that could be the biggest. I think it is. I think it's the biggest point scoring round we've had. I think we might have had an 18 last week, but we're up to an 18. Well, that's more, Tom. So you're not great at maths. Well done. I think we might have had a 16 last week, but I think 17 is one of the biggest point scoring rounds we've had. Anyway, question 1 of your film and TV. Let me get the right screen up here. There we go. Name the 5 human family members of The Simpsons. Name the 5 human family members of The Simpsons. A point for each. That's just a main family. Obviously, not grandpa, etc. Just none of the pets. So just the human side of the Simpsons. Point for each. So if you only know 1, still a point. Just give you a little bit of time for that. Some people probably go, what bloody hell is Simpsons, Tom? Longest running animated primetime TV show in its 31st season. Started the year I was born. Five human family members of The Simpsons. Point for each. Put a bit more patches in there. Probably some terrible pouring. The right clan are probably going up in arms again. Right. It's enough time for that. Question 2. From which film franchise does the quote, "I'll make him an offer he can't refuse" from? From which film franchise does the quote, "I'll make him an offer he can't refuse" from? Oh, nearly copied first and second. As I say, it's only my first drink of the day and it was manic 24 hours. We're not pint cans as well. They're only 500 mils. From which film franchise does the quote, "I'll make him an offer he can't refuse," come from? Question number 3. Who played Captain Virgil Hilts in The Great Escape? Who played Captain Virgil Hilts in The Great Escape? Brilliant film. Always on around Christmas time, isn't it? We get you 1 or 2 viewings of it each Christmas time. That and Madame Bus, as we were speaking about in a previous week, they're proper. Well, certainly at ours anyway. At our house, they're the Christmas films we watch religiously. Emily had never seen The Great Escape until this Christmas time when I forced her to watch it, and yeah, it's all right. It's all right was her answer anyway. Got a Bridge Over the River Kwai to watch. That's the next one of them. So I can't really do a question on that now. Well done, Tom. Question number 4. Shaken, not stirred, is a variation of a drinks order from whom? By whom? Shaken, not stirred is a variation of a drinks order from whom? Or by whom? No, I've already given away an extra point for the owners. No extra point there, I'm afraid. But Tim does raise a great point there. That last 24 hours, 156 individual new deals. It does show just how loyal our owners are, and as I said at the start, we do appreciate each and every share purchase we get. And certainly, even more at this time. So, thank you very much to everybody who did sign up and hopefully got a deal or two. Hopefully, you're happy, we're happy, everyone's winning. And in return, you got your very valuable point. That's worth its weight in gold. Question number 5. The T-Birds and Pink Ladies are groups from which film? The T-Birds and the Pink Ladies are groups from which film? Funnily enough, Ian, this is very boring. I was laid in bed last night at 12:30, 1 o'clock, not sleeping for some reason. And I was Googling, I was on Harry Enfield's Wikipedia. Yeah. 62. No, 58. He's 58. I went on to somebody else's who was 62. When you get in a Wikipedia loop and you start learning stuff and you forget stuff. But yeah, about 12:30, I was on Harry Enfield's Wikipedia. There's an insight into my boring life. The T-Birds and Pink Ladies are groups from which film? Number 6. What is the highest grossing film of all time on box office sales? What is the highest grossing film of all time on box office sales? Oh, Joy, it's even better than that. First time I really met the whole of Emily's family was at her sister's wedding. Behind us. And it's still one of her 5 top highlights from her wedding day. Emily's sister's I did a whole Grease rendition of the Mega Mix. I did a whole dance to them all. We could maybe do that at the Middleham Park box if I'm allowed to drink at one of them. Maybe. But hell, I think there's a video of it somewhere. And if there is, I'll try and burn it. Anyway. I think I've just given the answer away. Slide it down. Anyway. Question 7. They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom, was uttered in which film? And for another point, by whom? The character, not the actor. They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom, was uttered in which film? And by whom? The character, not the actor. Point for each of those answers. I'm pretty sure I did get that. I'm trying going back into the chat here. Yeah, I did. There you go. There you go. We're all about giving here. I'm sure most of you had it anyway. Pop the answers on a piece of paper, not in the chat, please. Because only Muppets give answers away. They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom. Was uttered in which film and by whom? The character, not the actor. Question number 8. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Quote from which film? Nobody puts baby in the corner. A quote from which film? There's a good meme out there of somebody putting a baby in a coma. Not an actual baby, like a plastic baby. I must say that. Slight asterisk there. Do you know what? I'm not gonna say anything after I've asked a question. That's probably better and probably more enjoyable for you as well. Nobody puts baby in a corner. What film was that from? Question number 9. Show me the money is shouted repeatedly in which Tom Cruise sports movie? Show me the money is shouted repeatedly in which Tom Cruise sports movie? Now, something I didn't say at the start of this round is there are actually 12 questions in this one. I think it's the first time we've kind of gone beyond the 10. But anyway, we've got the 12, and let's try and make the score up to a nice round 60. Obviously, the 61 for those who purchased the share. So we've still got a few more of film and TV to go, and I felt this was the one to bolster, given it's the speciality round. Show me the money is shouted repeatedly in which Tom Cruise sports movie? I only watched it again the other day. Brilliant. Question number 10. What did Forrest Gump compare life to? What did Forrest Gump compare life to? Yeah, I think I'm just blatantly an idiot, actually, Jamie, rather than the cider kicking in. I think I'm just an idiot. But I like the sound of my own voice and just talk a lot. What did Forrest Gump compare life to? Now, we should be ending by now, but no. Here we go into question number 11. What speed did the Delorean need to reach to achieve time travel in Back to the Future? What speed did the Delorean need to reach to achieve time travel in Back to the Future? Now, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. I'm sure the Delorean was 1 and 2, and then it was a train in 3, wasn't it? And I think they were all the same speed, but I can't. I've only seen the third a couple of times. I think it's the same speed anyway. But what speed did the Delorean need to achieve to reach to achieve time travel in Back to the Future? Fair point. That's miles per hour. Miles per hour. Miles per hour, please. If you don't know, take a guess. Just pick a number. And finally, in your film and TV round, as I said, there wasn't too much TV. I'll rectify that for next week. Number 12. In which 1994 film did Morgan Freeman play Ellis Redding? In which 1994 film did Morgan Freeman play Ellis Redding? now. Let's give you a quick moment, and I'm going to go get another one of these out of the fridge. Yeah, I'll just be one moment. I'll give you that time, and then we'll go through the answers after this. Thought I'd better bring two for luck. I was looking for Sprout, but he's not wanting to come and play. Anyway, I'm sure you're all on tenterhooks and you don't want to know about the cat. Right, answers. Number 1. Let me get the right screen up. Sorry, right. Number 1. Name the 5 human family members of The Simpsons. A point for each. In age order, Maggie, Lisa, Bart, Marge, and Homer. Maggie, Lisa, Bart, Marge, Homer. Point for each. Question number 2. From which film franchise does the quote, "I'll make him an offer he can't refuse," come from? That's The Godfather. I'll make him an offer he can't refuse. It's a little bit better than the singing. I'd give you him if you wanted. If anybody made an offer and Sprout, yeah, you can have him. No 10k. I'd never get up to the 10k. It's 5k potentially tomorrow. Question 3. Who played Captain Virgil Hills in The Great Escape? Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen played him. Question number 4. Shaken, not stirred, is a variation of a drink order from whom? James Bond. We like our James Bond questions. The easiest question on the quiz. The T-Birds and the Pink Ladies are groups from which film? That's Grease. If you didn't know, you probably did halfway through the quiz. What is the highest grossing film of all time on box office sales? Because there's others. There's plenty of others, including home rentals, etc., and adjusted for inflation. Adjusted for inflation, it's Gone with the Wind, but the actual answer is Avengers Endgame with $2.8 billion on box office sales. Avengers Endgame. Number 7. They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom. That involves shouting, and I'm not going to do that. Was uttered in which film and by whom? It was Braveheart and William Wallace. Braveheart and William Wallace. Nobody Puts Baby in the Corner. From which film? Dirty Dancing. I'd never seen that until 6 months back. And Emily made me watch it. It's going to be terrible. It's actually all right. It's not bad. Question number 9. Show me the money is shouted repeatedly in which Tom Cruise sports movie? Jerry Maguire. Jerry Maguire. I'm looking at you, Billy, right there. You should have got that given I spoke to you about it the other day. Jerry Maguire. Number 10. What did Forrest Gump compare life to? It was a box of chocolates. His mama used to say life was always like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Question number 11. What speed did the Delorean need to reach to achieve time travel in Back to the Future? 88 miles per hour. 2 points for number 7. 2 points. 1 for Braveheart, 1 for William Wallace. 88 miles an hour. If anybody knows if a train had to do that, I should have known that. If anybody knows if a train had to do that in the third film as well to achieve it, that'd be great. And finally, in which 1994 film did Morgan Freeman play Ellis Red Redding? The Shawshank Redemption. Brilliant film, probably up there in everybody's top 5 films. I'm yet to meet somebody who doesn't like The Shawshank Redemption. So that one was out of 17. I make that. How did you get on? No, not Mel Gibson, I'm afraid. I did say the character, not the actor. That was probably quite a tough one. If you don't know your film and TV, 5, 6 could be a good score. But I think if we go with, say, north of 12, north of 12 would be all right. Let's go with north of 12 is a good score. Okay, maybe I'm being a bit too generous there. No, it seems like that. Yeah, good effort, Graham Layfield. Sarah Andrew, Ian et al. With your maximum there. Yeah, but where they were going, Tim, they didn't need roads. Lots of good scores. Should we do another film and TV next week? Let us know in the chat if you want another film and TV. Hi, Dave Kingsbury. No, clearly the film and TV's gone bad. No, lots of people. Okay, a few. That means Billy Wright didn't get the Back to the Future one. Okay, anyway, I'll have a little think, but I think we'll probably do another one, at least give it another go. Anyway, we are moving on to your round number 3, your blockbuster round. Blockbuster round, that's going nowhere. Blockbuster seems to be staying, can't get rid of it. Anyway, blockbuster round. Question number 1. Some people have joined us for the first time. If you don't know what blockbuster round is, it's based on the TV show, obviously. And what I'll do is I'll give you, if it's a 2-letter answer, I'll give you a first letter of the first word and the first letter of the second word, and a clue as well. So it should become obvious as time goes on. But yeah, I give you a first letter of the word of the answer as well as a clue. So question 1, it's a little bit racing. What VR, so it's a 2-word answer. What VR a year ago on the Friday just gone powered home at Ascot on trials day to take the condition stakes there. He was later sold to Sheikh Mohammed for a multiple 6-figure sum. Many multiple 6-figure sum. What VR, 2 words, what VR a year ago on Friday just gone powered at home at Ascot on trials day to take the condition stakes, later to be sold to Sheikh Mohammed for a multiple 6-figure sum. Now, there is a big clue in, I think his trainer's in the chat. I think his trainer is watching. So if you don't get that, yeah, he's there. That's one. At least you've got one. There's a clue then. And even my friends in the chat should get it. I've spoken about this horse enough. It was in my background on my phone for long enough. Anyway, question 2 of your blockbuster. What B, sorry, only one word. What B is the second letter of a Greek alphabet? What B is the second letter of a Greek alphabet? I think you could be right there, Dave. Maybe with film and TV, I'll probably air a little bit more on the TV side of things. What B is the second letter of a Greek alphabet? Question number 3. What F was a Russian goldsmith famous for his eggs? What F was a Russian goldsmith famous for his eggs? What F was a Russian goldsmith famous for his eggs? Rating these questions as I go. As I say, please do bear with me. It's maybe not the same polished professional quiz in the chat anyway. This is never polished or professional as normal. But as I say, the team are having a well-earned glass of bubbly. My mum's just sent some pictures through. The team having a glass of calm down juice. Question number 4. What U comes before kingdom, nations, and states? What U comes before kingdom, nations, and states? All the questions are in the chat if you've missed them. What U comes before kingdom, nations, and states? Question number 5. What F is the anatomical name for the thigh bone? What F is the anatomical name for the thigh bone? Now, I do appreciate I'm maybe rattling through these a little bit. That's because I'm dragging you out of your Killing Eve time at 9 o'clock. So sorry about that. It's my mess up earlier. But we're all having a great time, aren't we? All having a wonderful time. Get on with it, Tom. Get on with it. Question number 6. What O is the capital of Canada? What O is the capital of Canada? It's a good question, Jamie. That's the best question of the night, and I've not asked that yet. We'll do that at the end of this round. Killing Eve starts at 9:15. Perfect. Killing Eve is 9:15. I'm probably still going to be a little bit late for that, but we'll give it a go. A good one this week. I've already seen it on iPlayer. I'm sure many of you have as well. No spoilers in the chat, please. No spoilers for people. It's not cricket. But don't worry, there is cricket question. Question number 7 of your blockbuster. What J was Hyde's other persona? What J was Hyde's other persona? Let's not do it at the end of a round. Go on. What are you drinking as well? Pop your answers in the chat. Speed up the post round. Pop your answers in the chat or your drinks in the chat. What you're having. Obviously, I'm on a Thatcher's or 2. The Thatcher's haze is quite nice as well. If you've ever had that one, this is just the gold. But the haze is jolly lovely as well. Question number 8. What V is a distant view? What V is a distant view? It was also a operating system. That might just make it a bit easier. What V is a distant view? You see, this is how these people are doing well. They're on teas and cup of teas and jasmine green teas. That's why you're doing well. It's getting everybody else slozzled. Question number 9. What R is a theory introduced by Einstein? Einstein. Jesus Christ, that's strong. What R is a theory introduced by Einstein? What R is a theory introduced by Einstein or Einstein? Joe Sinden on the white wine. Ben on the red. Dave Kingsbury, nice hot chocolate. And finally, question 10 of your blockbuster round. What tea is nicknamed the Lone Star State? What tea is nicknamed the Lone Star State? What tea is nicknamed the Lone Star State? So all 131 streams, anyway, hopefully that means there's a few more of you. We will just give you one more brief moment to go through and the answers, and then we'll kick on with the answers of your blockbuster round. We just then have the sport and the answers to your picture round to go. Okay, your blockbuster answers. What VR a year ago on the Friday just gone powered home at Ascot on trials day to take the condition stakes there, later sold to Sheikh Mohammed for a multiple six-figure sum? Ventura Rebel. Ventura Rebel, son of pastoral pursuits, bought for £28,000 at the Ascot sale, and he was sold for a hell of a lot more than that. Obviously, it's not about the sale, it's about what he did in the time we had him as well. He was unbeaten, 2 from 2 starts, won at first very impressively on day one, and beat a 3-1 on short at a very short price Lady Pauline at Ascot. There was a little bit of a hiatus on people coming for him, so I assessed where he should go. The time he ran that day in the condition stakes would have put him in the first 2 or 3 in the first 2 of 9, but in the first 3 of the last 10 renewals of the Norfolk. So that's where he was going to go. I think I told Mr. Fahey, or asked him anyway, to run him in the Norfolk. We'd sold him subsequently, and Mr. Fahey listened and ran him in the Norfolk, and he finished that far. Sorry to remind you, Richard, but he finished about that far second in the Norfolk as well. So it's definitely the right race for him. But Ventura Rebel, he was a great success story for a lot of people involved. He's in good form at the moment. That's great to hear. Question number 2. What B is the second letter of a Greek alphabet? That's beta. Question number 3. What F was a Russian goldsmith famous for his eggs? Fabergé. Fabergé eggs. Question number 4. What U comes before kingdom, nations, and states? United. United Kingdom, United Nations, United States. What F, question 5, what F is the anatomical name for the thigh bone? It's a femur. It's pound for pound stronger than steel. It's your thigh bone. Thigh bone, femur, pound for pound stronger than steel. Question number 6. What O is the capital of Canada? Ottawa. Capital of Canada is Ottawa. Question number 7. What J was Hyde's other persona? Jekyll. Is it Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Jekyll was the answer to 7. Question 8. What V is a distant view? It's also a Windows operating system. Vista, Windows Vista, and it's a Vista. It's a distant view. Question number 9. What R is a theory introduced by Einstein, or Einstein? Relativity, the theory of relativity. And finally, question 10. What T is nicknamed the Lone Star State? Texas. Texas. It's the second. Is it the second big? It's the second biggest state. I think Alaska is the biggest state, isn't it? It's the biggest state in the mainland, I believe. So, how do you all get on in that round? I appreciate we just passed over the hour, but how do you all get on? I know a lot of you love your blockbuster. I think that was quite a tricky one. I did deliberately try and make that quite tricky. So I think if you got somewhere between 6 and 7, so let's go 6. Let's go 6. If you got 6, I think that was a good score. I did make that deliberately quite tricky. I think that's the trickiest round we've got tonight, which I'm sure you'll be pleased. Lots of 10s, lots of 8s, lots of 9s. Nick, Ian, Peter, Judy, Chris, Mark Austin, Joy. Yeah, lots of 10s. Andrew Perry, lots of 10s, lots of 9s, loads of 9s. Too many to mention. Everybody's done jolly well. And if you want to pop as well, how many you've got so far? It's a good point. What's it out of? 27. 37. 37. 37. 37. It's out of in total. So how many you got? Russell Diggs, 35 out of 37. Geez, good effort. 34 from Chris Little. That's tied at the top, isn't it? Ben's not too far behind with 32. Mr. Fahy, 24. 35 from the Austins. 32s, 32, 32. Good effort, Sprout. Well done. Proud of you, 10. Well done, mate. Upstairs listening to all the answers. Lots of 30. There's a lot of people in with shouts here. Lots of people with good scores so far going into the sport round. Right, we're going to the sport. It's out of 13. It's the sport round this week. And we have a full 10 questions. Full 10. And then obviously we'll give you answers and we'll then give you answers of the picture round. So, eyes down, sport round. Question 1. In which sport do teams compete for the Stanley Cup? In which sport do teams compete for the Stanley Cup? I still must be a bit of a time delay going over there to the French with Mr. Toby Jones, purchaser of many of our Paul Nicholls horses, including Red Risk, who from quizzes gone by, I'm sure you'll all know, is joint highest rated national hunt horse we have at 144. Very impressive up at Ludlow. He was going to go to the grade 2 at Ayr, but we're here. We're here quizzing instead of watching horses run at this current time, but that'll soon be ended, won't it? And we'll be back racing very soon. Question 2, sport. What is the height of the hoop in an NBA basketball game? What is the height of a hoop in the NBA basketball game? I've just realised I didn't post the question. Sorry, slacking. I'm used to that's question 1. Used to most things in my life it being done for me. Agreed, Antonio. Can't wait to see him again. Well, it could be anything. He really could be anything, couldn't he? To defy 134 like he did, you don't know. He could well be a November Gold Cup winner, or hopefully even better. Who knows? Who knows? If he won the Ryanair next year, wouldn't be a surprise. Question number 3. It's a 3-point answer. Now, it should have been the Guineas weekend this weekend. Middleham Park Racing have been lucky enough to have 3 runners, 2 in the 2,000 Guineas and 1 in the 1,000. Name them. Now, it should have been the Guineas weekend this weekend. Middleham Park have been lucky enough to have 3 runners, 2 in the 2,000 and 1 in the 1,000. Name them. Point for each. That even tested Tim and Mike, that question. So good luck. There's a clue. I'll give you a clue. The trainer of one is in the chat. So if you didn't get that, Should have been the Guineas weekend this weekend. We've been lucky enough to have 3 runners. This is the English only, by the way. This is the English only. It's not Irish Guineas weekend, it's just the English Guineas. We've had a few runners in the Irish Guineas as well, but it's not that we're looking for. It's just the English Guineas runners. Question number 4. Question number 4. Over what distance does drag racing traditionally occur? Over what distance does drag racing traditionally occur? Over what distance does drag racing traditionally occur? A 2-point question or 2-point answer. Quick for question number 5. Sorry, I'm still trying to copy the things across. In Olympic weightlifting, there are 2 methods of lifting. Name them. In Olympic weightlifting, there are 2 methods of lifting. Name them. 1 point for each. If you only know one, good, put it down. You still get a point. Meters. No, it's another unit of measurement. It's another unit of measurement. It's kind of a big clue. It's not meters or feet. Although, obviously, it can be measured in those as well, but it's more of it's a different unit of measurement. In Olympic weightlifting, there are 2 methods of lifting. Name them. Question number 6. What do you call a boxer who leads/jabs with his right hand? What do you call a boxer who leads/jabs with his right hand? And no, not still just a boxer is not an answer. Yeah, it is a much tougher round. I kind of thought that sport is something that probably 98% of the people in this quiz have in common, or at least have an understanding and knowledge of. So I've tried to make it a little bit tougher. Apparently, it's appearing I've made it far too tough. Bear in mind for next round or next week. But yeah, I thought finally I've got a full 10 questions. I'm going to make them relatively tricky. Sounds like there's a few people not happy with me. Question number 7 of a sport. The cricket umpire raises his hands above the head, thusly. How many runs are they signalling? If a cricket umpire raises his hands above his head, how many runs are they signalling? Ask and you shall receive, Mr. Perry. I don't just throw my hands up in the air sometimes, saying AO, Ed and Jekko. If a cricket umpire raises his hands above his head, how many are they signalling? Yeah, I was wondering how long it'd be. I was going to say who was going to be the first one, but it's the Austin brothers. Thank you very much. Correct. When I'm bowling, that is done a hell of a lot. Unlike when the Austins are batting, and it's normally just that. Question number 8. In which sport did Eddie the Eagle represent Great Britain? In which sport did Eddie the Eagle represent Great Britain? It's horses for courses, if you're having fun. Isn't it, Mr. Kingsbury? Isn't it, Dave? Some people specialise in them. Some people sport fans, some people film and TV, some people music. Trying to cater for everybody. By the time we're all out of this, hopefully we've all had a few decent rounds. In which sport did Eddie the Eagle represent Great Britain? Number 9. In track and field, which throwing event's world record is the shortest? In track and field, which throwing event's world record is the shortest? Kind of a multiple part question, isn't it, to come to the answer? You kind of got to work out what the throwing events are. And obviously then work out which the shortest world record is. In track and field, which throwing event's world record is the shortest? Now, the final question I'm going to ask you this evening. Question number 10 of a sport round. Which football team plays at Pride Park? Which football team plays at Pride Park? Which football team plays at Pride Park? Now I'll just give you a couple of moments, and then we will go through the answers of the sport round, which my all accounts is a bit tough, so apologies. I think, look, let's say 4 or 5 will be a good score in this, judging by the chat as we're going on. And whether we're killing Eve is 2 minutes away. Sorry, I'm going to overrun. That's my fault. But I'm sure you can record it and we can watch it. We can watch it at 1:30 or something like that. Okay, sport round answers. Question 1. In which sport do teams compete for the Stanley Cup? That's ice hockey, and it's a massive, bloody great big trophy, isn't it? It's about as tall as me. I don't know its height. It's not 5'8", but it's a bloody great big trophy, isn't it? Not ridiculous carrying them. Ice hockey is the answer. It's not as big as the next answer, though. What is the height of a hoop in an NBA basketball game? It's 10 feet. 10 feet is the height we were looking for. It should have been the Guineas weekend this weekend. Middleham Park have been lucky enough to have 3 runners, 2 in the 2000 and 1 in the 1000. Name them. Now this was tough even for the most seasoned Middleham Park aficionado. The horses were Tamor, champion 2-year-old 2013, winner of the Craven and then Inter, Hail the Hero, and Lily's Angel, who was from the first crop of Dark Angel that Mr. Fahy, who's in the chat, trained. I think she was bought for $8,000. Not a great deal. And obviously Dark Angel's gone on to be Super Sire, but she was kind of his shining light for a fair while. So Tamor, Hail the Hero, Lily's Angel, 0.4 each. Yes, Tom Denham, it is. Question number 4. Over what distance does drag racing traditionally occur? That's 1/4 mile we were looking for was the answer. Obviously, you can measure it in feet, you can measure it in meters. Meters would be 400, but given the furlong question earlier, but it is 1/4 mile we were looking for. There's quite an American theme here, I do appreciate. Question number 5. In Olympic weightlifting, there are 2 methods of lifting. Name them, a point for each. The snatch and the clean and jerk. The snatch and the clean and jerk were the 2 we were looking for. You might have seen that there's deadlift record broken yesterday, 501 kilos over. Is it half a ton that? So, I mean, that's only a day's work, isn't it? But I need to bang on about it on Facebook. Question number 6. What do you call a boxer who leads or jabs with his right hand? It's a southpaw. I'm not going to accept still a boxer or fighter, anything like that. He's referred to as a southpaw. That's his stance, or her stance, their stance. Question number 7. If a cricket umpire raises his hands above his head like that, how many runs are they signalling? That's 6 runs. 6 runs. 2 points for the 1 for the clean, 1 clean and jerk, 1 for the snatch. Point for each of those. Um, Dave Borton, obviously member of Middleham Park team, drove a horse box for tomorrow. Brilliant. Great horse. Question number 8. In which sport did Eddie Veagle represent Great Britain? That was ski jumping. Question number 9. In track and field, which throwing events world record is the shortest? That's for shot put. I think there's a javelin, hammer, discus, and the shot. And the shot put is the shortest. It's around 25. Is it something around that? I don't know the world record, but it's around 25. I'd say could be the discus, hammer, javelin. But there's quite a big distance up to the next one, isn't there? They're all sort of 70, 80, 90, 100s, and shot put is 20, 30 metres, isn't it? And finally, which football team plays at Pride Park? Derby County. Derby County. So how did you get out of 13 there? 13. It does seem like it was quite a tricky round, that one. And obviously post how you're doing out of your score so far, 50. It should be out of, and then we'll add your bonus point on at the end, but it should be out of 50 so far. Plenty of people have done well. Maybe it wasn't too bad. As I say, sort of 5, 6, 7. Let's say 6, split the difference. 6 is a good score for that round, given it got quite a bit of stick. Nah, a lot of people have done well. I think it's just horses for courses, isn't it? Okay, now on to your picture round. I just need to try and find these blooming answers. Okay, picture round. Number 1, Doncaster. Number 2, Ayr. Number 3, Ascot. Number 4, Wolverhampton. Number 5, Epsom. Number 6, Windsor. Number 7, Foss-Lass. Number 8, Ripon. Number 9, the Newmarket July course. And number 10, Hamilton. 1, Doncaster. 2, Ayr. 3, Ascot. 4, Wolves. 5, Epsom. 6, Windsor. 7, Foss-Lass. 8, Ripon. 9, Newmarket July. And number 10, Hamilton. So that's out of 10. How did you get on? Oh, one's maybe not a good score. I can't do it. I'm not buying that for a second, Mr. Fahy. I think maybe 6 if you're an owner of Middleham Park. I think 6 would be a good score. Apparently, it's not. Perfect. Right. With regards to your grand total, we're going to be posting on our Twitter and on our Facebook the usual links. So if you could comment in there how you got on, and we'll have a little look at how you've all got on and try and identify some form of winner if you like. But thank you very much for joining us once again. It's our biggest audience ever. I think we touched nearly 140 people there. And thank you once again to all the people who did take a share with us in the last 24 hours. And it's great to have so many people on board. Hopefully we can all do this again next week. I'll try and make the sport round a bit easier, and I'll make it a bit more TV orientated, take it a bit more TV orientated next week. Thank you very much again for joining us. Hope you all have a safe week. Hopefully we get some good news on Thursday from the government. Thank you for joining us, and sorry for my slight mess up at the start. Hopefully I didn't take too much of your time. And bins out. Thank you, Ben. Bins out. I forgot. Yes, bins out. Well done. Thank you very much. An extra bonus point for you, Ben. Well done, everyone, and stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.